Hi everyone, it's Sunday, February 12th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Jordan. Starting with the U.S. market, Packer steer prices were up about $1 across the board. Now, that said, no one claims those increases were very easy to get. But then keep in mind that as demand starts to increase, the U.S. supply will be tightening this year. Looking at heavy Texas steers specifically, prices were higher, with sales at $26 to as much as $27.50 for the 64-66 pound selections. For automotive customers, heavy native steers remain in short supply. And in the cow sector, Holstein cows and steers are still firm in their prices. Looking at combined export sales, they were not really anything to write home about, even though they were higher than last week. For the week ending February 2nd, it was 487,000. Combined shipments were 618,800, and that's up just 1% from the week before. Estimated slaughter for the week ending February 11th was 630,000, and that's 2% lower than last week. Now, this could be the start of slaughter trending downward thanks to the tighter supply this year. And turning to Europe now, editor Andrea Guolo says that slaughter there is also low and prices have started to recover. But the big question is, does this trend have staying power? In the UK and Ireland, supply is low and everything is sold for now anyway. So prices are the same, with the British 36 plus ox at 85 cents in sterling per kilo, and the Irish is at 95 cents to €1 per kilo. Looking at European bulls, prices are on the rise, but actually few contracts were concluded last week. So still, northern German bulls are up at €1.15 to €1.20 per kilo for the 40 plus kilo selections, and the southern hides are also 5 cents higher. With regard to European cows, prices are indeed on the rise. And looking at veal, slaughter is low, but demand is still very hot. So look for some upward changes coming in that market. In his analysis, Andrea takes a closer look at demand in the sector, at which destinations have work and which ones don't, as well as the situation with wet blue supplies on the continent. From South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports that raw material prices went up 11 cents. So fresh hides are selling at $1 and 22 cents per kilo. Consequently, that means the reference price of TR1 was also up, adding 2 cents to sell at 64 cents per square foot. And that does indeed make sales tougher. Most other Latin origins are resisting pressure for up or down, and we're again stable, except for Argentina. In other news from Brazil, the country's hide exports are up 19% over December, but compared to January 2022, they were 2.5% lower. The data comes from the Secretariat of Foreign Trade of the Ministry of Industry and Foreign Trade, and it was analyzed by the CICB, who says that with regard to the total in square meters, 14.5 million were shipped in January, and that's 32.6% higher than in December and 19.9% higher than January last year. Also, the country's beef exports last month were higher in value and volume, and additionally, the footwear sector created 24,600 jobs in 2022. From elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina's IPCVA details the Q4 slaughter and meat production. Colombian footwear exports grew by double digits last year, and it turns out that in Uruguay, losses are what led NH Foods to sell the BPU refrigeration plant. That is all we have for today, and so good night until next week from HideNet.